Hey, James Sykes, CEO of Baselode Energy here in Quebec City with Matt Gordon here to tell you a little bit more about Baselode Energy and some of the exciting summer details that we have going on.
I like just listening to Quebec radio station. Welcome people live from Quebec. It's a long day.
Bonjour tout le monde. Nous sommes en Québec. Alors nous parlons français.
Right, it's the last interview of the day. We're getting D-Bob happy because we've both been at us at like 8 o'clock this morning.
It's a long day.
It's a long day. 22 meetings. How many do you?
Not as many as 22 meetings, that's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I may start traveling, but let's go. We had a good conversation on stage actually. Got some laughs, and a lot of people in there kind of wanting to understand uranium. So we kind of did the kind of uranium thesis type thing, and hopefully people kind of understood that. Got to talk about you and what you're up to. You kind of got 4 projects now. I found out about Bear. Apologies for that one. So what are you kind of focusing on at the moment?
Ackio. 100%. Well, Ackio, which is part of the Hook project.
Yeah.
And that is our big push right now. Ackio is near surface mineralization. We think it has potential to be a future mine. So we have to put our best foot forward into Ackio. We do think that there is more mineralization along the trend and subparallel trends, and even along the entire major structure that is about 15-20 kilometers long. Right. So we're going to be poking some little exploration holes all throughout these areas.
Right, okay, so you've just raised some money and you've announced a drill program which is going to commence when and how many meters so are we in?
The drill program we announced a couple of weeks ago, so we are drilling, where we've started drilling right within Ackio itself.
Yeah.
And that should probably take us till about September, October. So 10,000 meters.
10,000 meters, what's 500 race, something like that? Right, okay, so that's fully funded. And how much left after that?
By the time that we're done, we should probably have about $1 million left in flow through.
Right, okay, so, and you will reserve judgment as to where you deploy that in Ackio, but it will be going into Ackio.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, you got a kind of bunch of projects in the portfolio. I want to talk about strategies and the way that small companies, small juniors, so 100 million juniors have to change tack and strategy depending on market conditions. Right? Your share price has pretty much followed uranium price.
Yep.
Nothing you do about it. Whatever you do, say it's that it seems that all uranium companies are doing the same thing at the moment. So, because I asked the question on stage and ask it here, which is why bother doing anything if nothing's going to really make the dial? So why go after Ackio now?
We kind of have to, because I think it would do us more harm if we did nothing for the entire year and did a little bit of exploration on other projects than going after Ackio. We truly believe that Ackio is a potential mine for the future. So despite what the market thinks or despite how the market is, we need to advance that project sooner rather than later.
Okay, in which case, I know. So why do you look at that versus anything else that you've been doing over the last 3 years and go, no, this one, definitely a mine, versus what you've been seeing elsewhere? What was informing you?
The drill core.
Right. Okay.
Well, that's the straight up and simple answer, is that we've got drill core. We know we've got results at Ackio.
What was going on before? I thought that was awesome.
Oh, it is. Everything's awesome. Right. Everything is awesome. Come on, Lego.
They're coming. But why specifically is this better than what you've seen before?
Again, because we've got mineralization, we have to follow it up. We can't just leave it kind of isolated and open-ended.
But you said this is going to be a mine. We're not determining the efficacy of the drilling versus the mineralization. It's like you said, this is going to be a mine. So
yes.
Why is it so good?
It's near surface. Okay. It has the potential for open pit mining. It's high-grade uranium, which is what we want to see in the Athabasca and what the mills want. It's clean ore.
Okay. Well, why is that?
Because the mills can accept it. So there's no moly, which is something that you don't want in your mill circuit. There's barely any sulfides. There's no arsenic, no selenium, which are deleterious elements. No nickel, cobalt, or anything like that. So it's basically straight uranium. Throw it in, uranium comes out.
Okay. What else about this? What is driving this? Because we've talked in the past about, I made a discovery out of one hole. Our thesis in terms of outside the Athabasca Basin is better than theirs because of some big statements here, and I want to see from you. I'm not saying you volte-face and jump around a bit, but I kind of want to see why, if this is where you're going to go all out and all in, The why. So okay, so near surface, 'cause it's clean.
Near surface,
grade is good.
the grade is good. We're proximal to a mill.
Yeah.
So all of that works. Everything just seems to work for it. As far as the size and scope, it's not a small deposit. It's not a MacArthur River or Cigar.
Yeah.
And when I do consider Ackio, I consider 92 East GMZ along with it. But like those two deposits are going to be quite sizable and should be larger than previous deposits that have been mined, especially like at Clough Lake or Uranium City areas like that. This could be as big as Rabbit Lake, which was one of the first uranium mines in the area.
Okay, but hasn't there been previous drilling on it?
No, not at Ackio.
Just
Yes.
You started drilling, but isn't it a bit too soon to say it could be whatever you think it could be, bigger than Rabbit or whatever? How many meters has gone in? How deep?
Yeah, the depth really isn't it, because we have mineralization down to as deep as about 300 meters, 350 meters. So we know it's open down there, but the bulk of what we're looking for is between 0 and 200. I'd say the average depth of, or at least half of what we're seeing is shallower than 100 meters. So that goes a long way. That goes a very long way.
You're going for it. Okay, so if you get a blast, let's say $4 million between now and October, you're going to need to hit big. The grade's got to keep going. You've got to get more kind of certainty over that mineralization. And then you're going to need to go raise more money, right? For how long?
We don't need to raise money by the end of this year. We'll be fine. Next year. Yeah. We need the results from Ackio.
Yeah.
And from Hook exploration drilling to boost our share price, so that when we do go back to the market down the road, so next year, that we can raise that higher price.
The uranium market to get on with
it
as well. I think most uranium experts would say that at the moment. It's just like it needs to do the heavy lifting for you. We did kind of wander around kind of the macro for some of the people on stage. I thought you had some interesting observations as to when that might pop and why that might pop. Do you see any like other new factors of driving that? We talked about split and your yellow cake and all of those guys and what the utilities were doing and reactor extensions and so forth. But are there any kind of other big moves to be?
I think the SMRs might be one of the biggest moves.
Right.
Yeah, I think as soon as SMRs are in the pipelines and are being built, they can be built fast. They can be deployed into areas where conventional reactors can't be built. They can be deployed in areas where renewables can't be built. So I think those are what makes sense. And there are there are mines now that are looking to go renewable only. But if you had an SMR at a mine site, that would make sense. So there's that potential. But yeah, as soon as SMRs become more broadly available, I think they will change the landscape.
Yeah. Dramatically. I can agree with you. We sort of do a weekly your own show, and I've been talking about this for a while. Eventually, see how that kind of plays out.
They're the nuclear renaissance,
and I think the China factor too. Right?
China's just going to keep building.
It's going to keep building. Yeah. It's incredible. I think ultimately 225 reactors will be are either in existence, being built, or planned. That's a big number.
That's a huge number. That's not a small chunk of uranium. That's a big number out there.
Yeah. In terms of obviously here in the show, you've been having conversations. We've seen lots of kind of government input, government conversations about how they want to insert themselves into the kind of funding cycle of mines and help out where they can. What sort of meetings have you been having since you've been here? What are you hearing which kind of may influence the way that you kind of move things forward at the company?
Since I've been here, I've basically been talking to the people that like uranium, so that's a good thing.
There are a few.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's kind of like geared up towards a kind of, I guess, Quebec gold type show. So it was nice to sort of see other investors represented for sure. Yeah. Right. And any good things coming out of that or any idea?
Anybody who's bullish on uranium is bullish on uranium, and they will always be so. They're the same type of people who say renewables are crap, and we'll never have a society that's sustainable off renewables alone. So we need nuclear energy in the mix. They all believe the same thing, that nuclear energy will continue to grow. Price of uranium will go up because it has to go up. And it's the same story from the people who believe. And that's always good to see and hear.
So in terms of targeting, what does, that doesn't sound like a big deal, what we said, but it actually is, in the sense that it gives you a clue as to the type of people that you need to be chasing down who aren't already uranium bulls. But in terms of the mentality of the kind of, I guess, anti-renewable, that's a sizable audience in the US. Hey, here's an idea for you. Given the conversations you had with people out there on the shop floor, do you think you should be targeting more people who are kind of like anti-renewables? Like, and there's a big big audience of that in America. Is that a possibility through your OTC listing?
Yes. Oh, it definitely is. I have been talking with people in the States about baseload and nuclear, and yeah, there's a lot of people who are on board. Yes, the anti-renewable people are very pro-nuclear.
Yeah.
But they're also, they're pro oil and gas and natural gas, which rightfully so.
Well, actually, I think that's all of the above, quite frankly. But yeah, it's interesting how you go about targeting these things. Well, look, okay, drilling coming up soon. We'll hear from you October. When after this?
Way before that, yeah. Even radioactivity results. So we'll keep the market updated as we progress.
Right.
Once or twice a month, we'll have radioactivity results. And then as the assays come in, we'll put those out.
Okay.
And then if we, as the exploration continues outside of Ackio, if we have any discoveries, we'll have to announce that ASAP.
Right. Okay. Brilliant. Well done. Thanks for coming in. I'll see you soon. Yeah. Cheers.